Welcome to my studio. I hope you're having a great day. We're going to do another film diary where I have a little informal chat with you about a topic related to film photography and then share some pictures related to that topic. Now, today's subject is engaging with the film photography community. Now, I'm not a big one for labels, but I am definitely more introverted than I am extroverted. And if you are too, well, then the idea of engaging with the community might sound a little scary or intimidating, but it doesn't have to be. As I see it, there are two main ways you can engage with the community, or two main categories. One is virtual and one is in person. So if you're more introverted like I am, you might want to start with something more virtual. Something as simple as maybe joining a Facebook group that's related to film photography. I'm a member of a bunch of them actually, and a lot of them are great communities. And if you feel, maybe uncomfortable sharing your own work in those groups at first, maybe you can just observe things for a while, maybe comment on other people's things, and leave feedback on their stuff. And I think it's a great way also to draw inspiration if you're getting kind of losing your photographic mojo. Just seeing other people's work is a way to kind of maybe jumpstart your own mojo and get back to things. There's other forums too, of course. You can go to Flickr. Flickr still has forums and that sort of thing too you can join. And obviously there's other various social media you can do too as well, like Instagram and maybe X, something like that, TikTok if you're into that sort of thing. But there's a lot of different ways you can join up. Another way that is virtual that you might like is joining a virtual project. And if you've seen a lot of my videos before, you already know I've been a member of the Frugal Film Project. Now this is my 4th year. Started off with a pretty small group when I was joined in 2019. I think it was. Well, I started in 2019. I joined in 21. We had about 50 members then. It's now over 500. It's really, really grown. But the concept, again, is simple. It's just a group of like-minded photographers that don't want to spend an arm and a leg on their photography. So you get a cheap camera, cheap roll of film, and then shoot that roll each month, and then share your images there on the Facebook group. And it's a great way, again, to bond with other like-minded photographers. Another thing you can join is 12 Months on Film. That actually is over on Instagram. I did not join that one just because of other commitments, and I didn't think I might have the time to devote to it to really do it justice, but that's another one you might want to look up. Again, 12 Months on Film, which is over on Instagram. This one might sound a little strange, but if you're introverted but still want to engage with the community, you could even start your own podcast or maybe even YouTube channel, which might sound a little daunting at first, but if you think about it, it's really just you and the microphone when you're recording, or you and the camera. You're not surrounded by a big room full of people or a big photo walk full of people, so that might be something you can maybe consider too. And you can start off small and then kind of join or maybe do more as you get more comfortable with it. So I mentioned again me being a little bit more introverted, but even so, I have, if you want to say, maybe come out of my shell a little bit. I've done a ton of in-person events related to film photography this year too, and I'm going to share a couple of examples of those with the help of this calendar I got from the Darkroom Lab out in San Clemente. So this is a 2024 calendar. We're going to go ahead and open it up. They've got a film of the month every month. So for January, it looks like the film was Kodak Portra 800. And January is a good month for doing stuff. Beginning of January, my friend Andrew invited me and a bunch of his other friends to a studio session, and it was actually to celebrate his birthday. But even though it was his birthday, he's the one that gave us the gift because he actually rented the studio for us, and we had models there. That day, I shot some Limochrome Purple. I shot a film from Cinemat, and a good time was had by all. Now, at the end of the month, I had another pretty big event. My son and I went to the Imaging USA Photo Expo in Louisville, Kentucky, and actually, I've got the name tag here. I, of course, was the old camera guy, and my son, for his nickname, chose the young camera guy. Makes sense. But that was a great time. There's a ton of stuff at the expo. Met a lot of nice people there, and all stuff photography related. That, of course, was not strictly film. There's a lot of digital there, probably more digital than film, but it was a great time. Probably the best part of the weekend, though, was that Sunday, that long weekend. We ended up doing a photo walk that was sponsored by KEH and hosted by my friend Bill Manning. And that was a great time. The nice thing about that, too, was I got to meet some people that I had previously only had interactions with online, like Billy Sanford and Mike Gutterman, who you might know as the founder and host of the Negative Positives Film Photography Podcast. So, again, good time was had by all in January. Let's take a look at February. We're going to flip the calendar here. February, our film of the month is Ilford Delta 3200, which is a film I don't think I've ever shot before, so that's on my to-do list. I was invited to another studio session with my friends from the Film Cipher group on Instagram. This was at Millennial Suites, another local Columbus studio. And again, we had models there. This time I shot some black and white film, but it was the C41 base, the old BW 400CN that Kodak used to make back in the day. And I also shot a roll of Kodak Portra 800, which came in handy because some of the parts of the studio were pretty dark, so we did some low light stuff. And again, it's very cool. I had a great time. That brings us, I guess, to March. Let's flip the calendar and see what we have for March. For March, our film of the month is classic Kodak Tri-X 400. So beginning in March, it started to get a little bit warmer, so I did a photo walk actually outside with my friends from the Film Cipher group. For this walk, I used Kodak Portra 160, shot my friends and models. It's a good time. The middle month, actually it was St. Patrick's Day. There was another photo walk outside, and that was sponsored by a local store called World of Photography. For that one, I shot Kodak Gold 200, and again, had an excellent time. Saw a lot of familiar faces, but some new ones too, so it was nice. Got to make some more friends. And then at the end of the month, on Easter weekend, I was invited to be a guest on the Ordinary Photographer podcast that's hosted by Ian Turpin. And we did kind of an open bar concept where it was a conversation, just again, kind of like this, an informal chat between Ian, myself, and again, Mike Gutterman. So again, another good month for March. Let's take a look at April. And I'm recording this video in April, so this will be the last month we cover. For April, our film is Fujichrome Velvia. Beautiful film. I don't think I ever got to shoot that one either, and it might be too late for that one. It had a big meetup for this one. This was the big kahuna. This was in Columbus, Ohio. There was a big meetup sponsored by the Darkroom Lab and the Film Photography Project, and they had a walk around Soto Mile. I didn't get to go to that big photo walk because I was working that day, but I did get to meet up with everybody later, and they had a Beers and Cameras event at Land Grant Brewing Company, and all the usual suspects were there. From the Darkroom, Trev Lee was there. They had Phil and Keith, the co-founders and owners of it, were there. Mike Rosso, Matt Marash from the FPP were there. That night I shot exactly one roll of Kodak Portra 800. Again, that was a good choice because it was a lower light environment in the brewery, and it worked out perfectly. I was able to shoot everything handheld. I had a Canon Elan 7NE with a 50mm f1.4 lens, and I've already got the shots back, and everything's developed and scanned, and I was really happy with the results. But again, the results are just part of it. The whole point of engaging with the film photography community is the fellowship. There's something comforting to be around all these other film photography nerds, having something in common. And if you are introverted and feel maybe funny approaching somebody, my little trick at any of these Beers and Cameras events is if you walk up to somebody you don't know, a very simple entree into the conversation is, hey, what are you shooting? What do you got there? What film you got? What are some of your favorite subjects to shoot? And you'd be surprised how easily people open up and start talking about it. And again, maybe you won't be surprised because it's something they're passionate about, as, again, I'm sure you are too. So after talking about all the stuff we've done this year, I'd like to go ahead and share now a bunch of pictures from all these previous photo meetups and photo walks.